The zoning arrangement in the PDP is causing a lot of debate, and those who are reacting to this drama will be getting reaction from the minority leader in the Senate, Senator Abba Moro. Let's turn our attention to a major decision made by the neck of the People's Democratic Party yesterday. And since that announcement was made, it was a significant decision to the future of the party ahead of the next election of 2027. A lot of the party members in and out who are speaking on this. Tonight I'm being joined by one of the leaders of the party who made that decision.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel TELECAST TV. I'm Miracle Angala. You're watching a conversation with Senator Abba Moro, Senate Minority Leader, about the decision the PDP took concerning the presidency. Why zoning presidency to the south region of Nigeria? Endeavor to watch to the end. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, subscribe, like, comment, and share your thoughts. Don't miss trending videos.
The leader of the party and the minority members in the Senate, the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Abba Moro, is live for us on the program tonight. Thanks so much, Senator, for joining us tonight.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Wow. It was shocking that you made that decision at NEC yesterday. Zoning to the south. That was audacious. How did you arrive at that?
Well, to people who have been somewhat pessimistic about the resilience of the PDP, it could be shocking. But you recall that I had told you here that a lot of activities have been put in place by the PDP towards resolving some of the conflicts within the party, and that out of the ashes of the storm, we're going to bounce back. And that is part of the things that you saw yesterday, the 102 NEC meeting of the party. And again, you recall I told you that in 2022-23, the PDP, in an attempt to wrest power from the APC, had actually thrown open the zoning arrangement of the party, and that we were going to put our best foot forward. But eventually, like it happened, that decision backfired, because eventually people resisted the intention to get a northern candidate to succeed the northern president and all that. And so it backfired, and PDP, for part of that reason, lost the election. And so this time around, we've been reconciling, reviewing strategies, reviewing what happened and the rest of them. And majority of us, virtually all of us, agreed that a mistake was made in 2023, fielding a northern candidate. And this time around, in the spirit of unity, in the spirit of fairness and justice, PDP leaders decided to swallow their saliva and say, look, let's take this thing to the south, where majority of the people expected that it would have been.
So fielding Atiku was an error for the PDP in 2023?
Well, as a result of the elections turned out, and because Nigerian people spoke, definitely it was an error.
And the party has regretted it?
Of course. To lose a very monumental election in that disastrous manner, as it were, certainly is something for regrets.
But tell me, Senator, quickly, before I forget, Peter Obi, have you been able to speak with him as a party? Is he coming back?
No, as a party, we have not spoken to Peter Obi. But you recall also that in the run-up to 2023, the expectation was that the ticket of the PDP was going to go to the south. And somehow, for reasons of fairness, people thought that the Southeast, having not produced a candidate for a major political party like that, would definitely have fielded a Southeast candidate. And obviously, it was Peter Obi that ordinarily would have picked the ticket. So, in anger, in frustration, Peter Obi left the PDP. And so, in the run-up to 2027, I'm aware that certain individuals have been talking to Peter Obi, hey, come back home. This is what we are likely going to do. And if you come, you stand a chance of being a candidate.
What are the possibilities of Peter Obi returning to the PDP?
You know, in politics, nothing is certain. I've always said that in politics, 2 plus 2 is not 4.
Yeah.
And so, and these are matters of interest. And when it comes to existential interest from a community of persons within a geopolitical zone, it is possible.
But those who are talking to Peter Obi, how far with that conversation?
Well, the conversation is predicated on the belief by such individuals that if Peter Obi comes back and he is the most favored candidate, the most supported candidate, and becomes a candidate, the PDP will make an impact in the 2027 election.
So with Peter Obi, if he's on the ballot in the name of the PDP, there is almost an assurance for the PDP. Is that the feeling on the inside?
Of course, that's the feeling.
Are you part of the party talking to Peter Obi?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But I can tell you for free that the PDP, like I told you before, is a big brand rooted in the Nigerian people. And so if, like now, that the ticket has been zoned to the south, there are several other persons that can also fly the flag of the party.
So, I mean, what about former President Goodluck Jonathan?
President Goodluck Jonathan is also a credible candidate.
But what are the possibilities? We understand that talks are also ongoing.
Well, yeah, some persons are talking to the president, former president, to come and run, and it's a possibility.
But those who fear about constitutionalism, based on how many times he has been sworn into office and taking oath of office, and those who are warning your party that if you, if you thread on that part, it might be dangerous.
But there's nothing dangerous there. You recall that in 2015, when President Jonathan, GCFR, wanted to run, there were hues and cries all over the place about the constitutionality of his candidature. But eventually, it was settled even by the court that he was qualified to run, and that is why he ran.
But you know what the Supreme Court has said about that vacuum, which was, of course, it was circumstances around Goodluck Jonathan himself when Yar'Adua and the vacuum that was left in the death of the former president, Moro Yar'Adua, and when he left office, the circumstance and the vacuum in our constitution and what the constitution says about the oath of office and the preemption or the intention of the drafters of the constitution as to the chances of anyone that is taking an authority of office should not have taken more than the oath of office or have opportunity of serving for 4-year term for not more than 2 times. But if you calculate it, it will have been said that if Goodluck Jonathan is returning, he only spent 5 years in office, Goodluck Jonathan would have spent about 9 years, which is against the position of the Constitution that 4-year term of not more than 8 years.
And then you know that Goodluck Jonathan had never been president for 8 years.
But
and you will also want to recall that
twice
similar issues arose when John Linyame of Taraba and Abba of Yobe contested for governor, having served part of the period
of the former
governors of their respective states. And the court came clean that, yes, that definitely wouldn't count as one of the issues or one of the terms contemplated by the Constitution.
So that's what you imagine has happened in the case of the 1 year plus of former President Yar'Adua spent by Goodluck Jonathan.
Yeah, exactly. Because if that were not the case, Goodluck Jonathan wouldn't have been qualified, for instance, to contest for president.
Qualification is one thing.
Yes.
And serving in office will be another.
No. What I'm saying is that
won the election,
by the time
that may have been contested and jeopardized in the courts.
If it was contested, I have given you 2 examples of people who are similarly completed the terms of offices of their respective governors, and they came back, won election, and finished their own second terms.
So you don't think there's anything dangerous or risky about Goodluck Jonathan?
Not at all. Not at all, because I can tell you for sure here now that even at that, in the run-up to the 2015, Goodluck Jonathan was taken to court on account of this same argument that you are raising now, and the court ruled that no, he cannot be disqualified on the basis of that.
There is another gallant personality in your party who is a governor, and his name has come up severally, and he's governor of your station, Makinde. And there are those who say that's another very good candidate if he emerges. What are you guys thinking in the PDP about such a personality?
Well, Seyi Makinde is the governor of your state. He's performed very creditably well. And so he wants to run for president. And like I said, he will not be the only person that will be running for president in 2027 if it comes to that. And so by the time Nigerians in the PDP gather and weigh the pros and cons of all the candidates, PDP members will be able to pick a candidate by their estimation that is capable of challenging the APC government. And so if it is Seyi Makinde, fine by us, then all of us will fight behind him. But I can assure you that there are more than one other or two persons that are in contention.
My guest yesterday says the decision of the NEC was unconstitutional and was done in error.
The constitution of NEC in what regard?
In the regard of zoning the presidential ticket of the party to the south. It was unconstitutional that the party or any organ of the party does not have the power to restrict or disallow anyone from exercising their constitutional right of being voted for or voting for anyone.
Yeah, they could be right, they could be wrong. Don't forget that in the very beginning of democracy in Nigeria, when the presidency was zoned to the south, candidates or aspirants from the north also contested. People like Rimi, for instance, of blessed memory, ran against the run of events of the party. So the zoning of positions to particular places does not preclude anybody from aspiring to contest the election. But it is important and instructive to note that once a party decides that this is the direction that we are going, anybody who comes to exercise a constitutional right has a right to come. But the decision of the party will be based on the decision that had earlier been taken by NEC.
And you don't think it's a preclusion?
It's not a preclusion. It's not a preclusion.
So because what the party has said that this ticket has been zoned. What you did in 2003 or 2022 was to say the party ticket has been thrown open. But this time around you say what you have said invariably is that Abba Moro might be the best candidate to be Nigeria's next president, but because he's a northern Nigerian, he cannot run on the platform of the PDP. That is the decision of the NEC yesterday.
No.
And my guest yesterday said it's an error and unconstitutional.
I can tell you this. The person who said it was an error certainly is not abreast with the constitution of the party. The party regulates its functions and its systems, and so the PDP has entrenched in its constitution the principle of zoning. And to all intents and purposes, it was intended that fairness should come to play, that equity should come to play, and that justice should come to play. And so I am saying here, therefore, that the Constitution of Nigeria provides for a level playing ground for all persons aspiring to be whatever in the country to aspire. But the decision of the party is, look, now we are looking onto this place to pick our presidential candidate. It does not preclude any other person. I gave you an example of the beginning where the Rimis and the rest of them contested against Obasanjo. Eventually, Obasanjo won. And so it's not a preclusion in any manner at all. But a decision had to be taken. Don't forget that these same people that are criticizing the zoning that has been pronounced now were the same persons who were complaining about throwing the ticket of the PDP open in 2023.
So you think this is the best decision for the party?
At the moment, yes.
My guest yesterday criticized. He said all of you that decided on that are walking from answer to the question, because all of you are working for Bola Tinubu to become the next president of Nigeria, to be re-elected. That whatever decision you have made is a summary that election of 2027 is going to be won easily by Bola Tinubu and the APC?
Well, the taste of the pudding is in the eating of it. We'll look at it, we'll come to terms with it when 2027 comes. Because ordinarily, even by logic, if we learn from the mistake that I said was made in 2023, as at the time that Bola Tinubu, the president, Bola Tinubu, was picked as a candidate from the south, other candidates contested against him from the north. Did they win? They didn't win. And party politics and elections are about strategizing and winning elections.
All right. Give me a moment, but I'd like to know, there are those of you in NEC who have promised that you will punish Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister. I want to know how you're going to do that, but that's going to be after this break. Join us again, everyone. Thank everyone for staying with us. Senator Abba Moro has been speaking with us on the program. He's a minority leader in the Senate. Of course, a major force leading a major caucus within the party at the national level. Senator, there are those who are not happy with the FCT minister in the PDP, and they are saying that his likes are going to be punished. How do you do that?
Well, let me say this without sounding like a broken record. All the hues and cries about discipline, discipline, they are unnecessary at this point in time. We are coming out of a disastrous election. 2023 certainly was the worst year for PDP as a political party when election results are concerned. And the choices before us is whether we should wield the big stick or go on the path of reconciliation. And it was decided that these two things can go pari passu with themselves. Try to reconcile as much as possible. Try also to discipline if you can. And in the run-out to 2023, a lot of things happened. A lot of things happened. People were genuinely aggrieved. Whether they carry the grievances too far is another thing altogether. And on this program, I had cause to reference the 2024 election in America. And very many prominent Republican Party members openly canvassed for votes for the Democratic Party candidate, Kamala Harris. And I asked this question: where was the cry, the hues and cries and the agitations for punishment for those persons in the Republican Party that work for the Democratic Party? You wouldn't hear anything like that. In Nigeria, it's anti-party, discipline, and the rest of them. And our people have the same. You make a fire, a bonfire, you say one stick of the fire, bonfire, is making smokes. You remove it. You remove the other one. You remove the other one. The smoke won't stop. You keep removing until you remove all the wood.
So punishing Wike is not a priority.
I mean, why is it always about Wike and the rest of them? Because we all know that obviously what Wike did, some other persons in the party did. We had a G5, for instance. The person who is going to run for president now in the party, Sheyi Makinde, was a member of the G5. Governor Autumn, who today is a board of trustee member from Benue State, was a member of the G5. Governor Ugwanyi, who was in the NEC meeting yesterday, was a member of the G5. Why is anybody not talking about all these other personalities and all of us that apparently somehow, one way or the other, didn't fall into the line of the party? Why is anybody not mentioning any other person? So I want to feel that the Wike saga is an unnecessary distraction that we can avoid if we have to forge a common fund towards the 2027 election.
I have less than 60 seconds to close this program, Senator. But there is a problem. Funding might be a very great problem for your party. The usual suspect funding sources for your party, Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, all of these parties have now been lost to the APC. How would you source for funding?
All of these parties, Sheyi, that you are talking about now, we are in PDP and we lost election.
So it doesn't matter.
Politics and elections are not necessarily all about money. There are other factors, other germane factors that are responsible for elections than the issue of money.
All right. Senator Abba Moro, Senate Minority Leader, it's always a pleasure having you join us on the program.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you and your party the very best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We're on a path to glory. I can tell you this. People call me from all over the place, congratulating me for the success of the NEC meeting yesterday.
So your party is rising from the grave?
Yeah, sure. Because I told you here before that
resurrection power.
That if the party dies, I'll be the coffin that will convey it. But we're all alive here now.
Senator, thank you so much. That's our show for tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure Kimale. God bless Nigeria.